What's up, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is episode 68 of the Life of Gaming podcast. My name is Jamie, and I'll be your captain on this cruise of video game awesomeness. And you all know my co-host, the man who's been with me since episode number 1, Mr. Josh Brandt.
Zooey Mama. What's up, James?
Where did that come from?
No idea what that means.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. My son is obsessed with that movie series, and I've watched it multiple times. And there's the two friends. I'll just share this real fast. Two friends. They start making this comic sketch, and at the end of each one, it said they just say "Zooey Mama," and they think it's the funniest thing. It's actually not a bad movie series for how corny it is. But,
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the family fun of the Wimpy Kid.
yeah.
And speaking of Wimpy Kids, the other man on our show, Mr. Chris White.
Hello, James. Hello, Josh. Listen, I am in a good mood today.
Good.
Today is Mario Day. I'm gonna be just on my best behavior today. I'm not gonna talk at all. I'm not gonna make any jokes about the garbage pail that is the PlayStation Vita. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not going to talk about the flaming pile of trash that is Overwatch. I'm not even going to talk about how depraved and just
Yes.
the PlayStation fans are. I'm not even going to say any of that today. Today, it's all about sunshine and rainbows, man. Happy Mario Day.
Happy Mario Day. Although by the time this comes out, it's not going to be Mario Day anymore, but that's okay.
That's all right.
beside the
That's
point.
fine.
But if you're watching the video version, you know it is not just the three of us. If you're watching the video version, the man holding up the white PlayStation Vita, the Zooey Mama himself, Mr. Jesse Waldack from Nintendo Dads.
Greetings. I heard the show was collecting beards, so I thought I would add mine to the show.
We like to bring beards
That is
on just
correct.
to really make James feel real bad. He never hit puberty, so
Right.
he can't grow one. So we just like to rub it in.
You are hilarious, sir.
So even my son's got a little fuzz going here and a little bit of sideburns going on here.
Your son's ahead of you, James.
I know, man. It's crazy.
He's a blonde, so his hair fuzz is coming in blonde. So for the longest time, even though you really couldn't see it until you were like that close to him.
Well, to be fair, look, we give James a hard time, but James is only 11.
You are
to be
hilarious.
fair, he's still got some time.
Well, let's just dig our way out of this hole. And Jesse, before we get started, let us know a little bit about Nintendo Dads and maybe anything else you may be involved with on the wonderful world of the internet.
Sure. And first of all, congratulations on your 2 years.
Oh, thank you.
You've had about a month ago.
Yes.
We had our 2 years back in November, so we're
Awesome.
a little bit ahead of you.
Congratulations.
Yes.
So Nintendo Dad's podcast started out as three gamers who grew up on Nintendo and are now raising gamers of our own, and we recently added a fourth formerly from Reactor Radio, Marty Estes. So there's four, and the other three hosts all have children in the 10 and under range. In fact, I think Zach's youngest kid isn't even one yet. So he's got a new fresh one that he hasn't tainted yet. unlike his other two. And
Not christened.
my kids are all older. The youngest one is freshman in high school, and the oldest one is graduating high school this year.
Awesome.
Cool. And so we do Nintendo news, reviews, and opinions from a parenting perspective.
Cool. And,
It's a great show, by the way. I'm a parent,
Yeah.
so I've been listening a lot recently, and I really enjoy it.
awesome.
Thank you.
Now, Jesse, quick question. I know you're on Nintendo Dads, but what all consoles are you playing on right now? Like, what do you own?
I own, as we talked about before show, I'm a collector. What I own is I have a Vita, as I previously said. I have a 3DS, multiple 3DSs. I had a DSi, I had a DS Lite. I never owned a Lite. I had the Fat. I have I have a Wii. I have PS3 and 4. I have a 2. I have an LCD display behind me that I have a 2 hooked up to.
Oh, cool.
So I have Retron 5. I used to have an Ouya, which
I haven't
Oh,
heard that
man,
name
I
in a
know
long
that
time.
Ouya.
Ouya.
I've got it somewhere.
Hardcore.
That thing actually got maybe 10 minutes of use.
You found it at a garage sale, right?
No, I bought it. I bought it like as soon as it launched to the
Oh, wow.
public outside the Kickstarter. So I paid the full $100 for it. It was a interesting experiment, but it failed.
Yeah.
I have in television. I forget what it's called. The little mini one that has like a bunch of packed-in games. I have the NES Classic behind me. They're all
You found one?
I was able to get one on pre-order and
Oh, wow.
get it on day one.
Cool.
So yeah, I've got most of those systems behind me all plugged in. I have an 8-port HDMI switch, so I can just go, I want to play this one, and I want to play this one, and it all just works.
That's awesome.
And
That's really cool.
then I have an HDMI out, one to the TV, and one into a computer against that wall, so we can do live streams and recordings
Awesome.
Wow.
of this. Anything that's
Nice
HDMI connected, I can record everything.
You are
That's
a
nice-
very busy man.
Yeah.
Well,
So
actually, talking about all the things you've been playing, let's just kick off what we've been playing. And Jesse, we can start with you. What have you been gaming lately?
So I've been playing mostly Zelda, but unfortunately this was a busy week at work, so I didn't get a lot of time in.
Oh,
But again, I'm maybe 4 or 5 hours in. So,
cool.
but I haven't been playing much just because I haven't had a lot of time. But what I have been playing when I knew I have a little bit of time to play is I bought Ace Attorney: Spirit of Justice when it was new,
cool.
and I never got around to playing it. So I started playing it a few weeks ago. I think I'm almost done with chapter 2. It's bonkers. Exactly what I expect from an Ace Attorney game. If you've played any of them, this one just goes over the top for even compared to its own standards.
That's a great series. I mean, that and Professor Layton kind of came out around the same time. And they're like people either favor Professor Layton or the Phoenix or the Ace Attorney series. I'm more of a Layton guy, but those Ace Attorney games are also really, really good.
Yeah, I really liked the crossover game.
Oh yeah,
Ace Attorney versus
I totally
Phoenix,
forgot
right?
that came out. Yeah.
And the story in that is even more bonkers than
Right.
normal. But within the universes that they live in, it makes perfect sense.
Sure.
It was logical. It actually was the most logical storyline for me, that I thought, just because I know these series.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when you spend so much time with the series, it's kind of like you connect with those characters. No matter where they go, you're just gonna follow them. But with Zelda, the Switch is portable. You can take it with you and you can play it. You can just go to work, just take it to work and just hide behind your desk and play and
Or hide with the resident.
No. But
Just go into their room. I'm doing physical therapy in here,
I mean, technically you are. I mean, you know.
right.
Oh yeah.
So
But,
Motion controls, yeah.
Sure.
I work from home usually 3 days a week, and I go into the
cool.
office 2 days a week. So they're like, if I want to work, this is my working station over here.
It just turns.
There it is.
This is where I stream. This is where I work.
Yep.
But okay, Mr. Brandt, what have you been gaming lately, man? Anything
Okay.
interesting?
Yeah, I'll hit on 4 games. that
4.
You might not
Hey,
know.
you only get
Wow.
one, man. I'm just kidding.
Hey. First of all, I just purchased Master Blaster Zero.
Oh, I
you
did too.
bought it. Awesome.
Yep, I did
Yeah.
too. It's great.
Yeah. Before
I
getting on
purchased it,
here.
but I haven't played it yet.
Oh, it's great. It's really
yeah,
good.
yeah. Before getting on here, I was playing it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a retro gaming dream, pretty much. I mean, it has this 2D side scrolling. It has the 3D shoot 'em up elements. Yeah, I wasn't expecting much from it, but for $10, it's really not. It's really worth just buying and getting into. It's like a Shovel Knight. They're knocking out the indies right now.
Oh yeah,
with their
absolutely.
release.
Now, I believe Master Blaster Zero is also on 3DS. I think, right? I think
It
it's
is.
Yes.
I think
Switch
so.
3DS.
Yes.
Now it's not on
So-
Wii U though, is it?
No.
Okay,
You can't go wrong.
right.
You're no longer allowed to say Wii U, or Mario will come to your house and murder you.
Well, this isn't part of the news section yet, but Worlds of the West just got announced. The people that make Tesla Grad, and they announced the Wii U launch date and no Switch date. I'm like, what?
That's
So
bizarre.
I was
They'll
tweeting
have-
at him
it'll
like,
come
where's
to
your Switch date?
Yeah.
But what else, man? Outside of Master Blaster?
Okay.
You said you got 4, so you get 3 more.
Speaking of Phoenix Wright, I played this game early review copy for Danganronpa 1 and 2 Reloaded.
Nice.
And have you guys played that or
Never played Danganronpa.
Well, it's for the Vita, so
I tried playing the first one once. I just couldn't get into it.
Okay. It's not for everyone, I do agree, but I think it takes, like, for me personally, I'm not a visual novel guy too much, but I think it's some of the best writing and, like, crime scene figuring out. The graphics are sort of outdated for it. It's pretty much emulating from the Vita to the PS4.
Oh, okay.
But it still looks good. I mean, it's just anime backgrounds and stuff like that. And some of the translation wasn't too well done to the PS4, but overall, I love those games. I played them back on the Vita, and yeah, can't wait for Danganronpa 3 when that comes out for the PS4 too. But yeah, I'm having a blast with those. I recommend them. It's coming out Tuesday, so by the time you get this, you should be able to purchase it. The other game is I see that PSVR back there. I haven't put that on in a while, so I decided, okay, I need to get into the Psychonauts Rhombus.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Love Psychonauts. So good.
Yeah, I think I'm about 3/4 through. I played for like 2 straight hours last night. By the time I was out, I was like all dizzy and probably hurting my brain or something. But
well,
just shake your head around a little bit and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's wow. It looks great though. I mean, if you want to be in that universe, it's about picture perfect to it. I like how you use your psychokinetic.
You become psychotic when you put the VR headset on. It's great.
Yeah, you use your psychic powers to like go from people's minds, and that it's a clever way of not getting dizzy, but you just move around from people's minds, and you can manipulate objects. It's puzzle based. There was one puzzle that and it's the same thing with PSVR. The problems that I find with it aren't the games; it's how just ridiculous the amount of wires you need and the time to get it set up, and then sometimes the tracking isn't right. So I just had to look through this periscope, but my tracking was off, so my head was higher than where it needed to be. So I'm like trying to look down at it, and I'm like, why isn't this working? It says look into the periscope. I'm like trying to do this for 15 minutes jumping around, and then I just reset it, and then it's right there lined up. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So
now, is there a button you just push to reset the headset?
It's a fun adventure game. What?
I said, do you just push a button to reset the headset? How do you do that?
Yeah, you can. Well, when you're in the game, before you get in, you can hold start, and then it'll center it. Oh, cool. But when you're in the game, it wasn't working because it was already off. So you have to back out and all that. But other than that, it was fine.
Cool.
And Legend of Zelda is what we've all been playing, and I think I'm pretty far now into. I haven't gotten to my first dungeon yet, but I'm doing a lot. I have a nice piece of armor. I'm getting the heart canisters up. I'm going to upgrade my stamina next, and then move on with the story.
Awesome.
And it's great. It's probably my favorite game of the year, and it's going to be
good.
many people's game of the years.
Right. Well, Chris, what have you been up to, sir?
Yeah, I mean, that's really a little bit of the same. I mean, I have absolutely no interest of playing anything but Switch games. So, 1-2 Switch is fun. The kids love that, and coming back to that, it's been fun. Zelda's great. I talked in the chat, and we mentioned this before we start. I absolutely love the game. It's just it's fantastic. I went after work yesterday. We decided we wanted some tacos, so I went to Rusty's to get tacos, and I had to wait about 10 minutes while they made them, and I'm just sitting at the counter playing Zelda on the Switch, waiting for them to make tacos. Like, it's just, this thing is fantastic. I absolutely love the Switch.
Now, I will say the Switch in the dock is kind of like a taco.
Yeah,
it's like the shell with the Switch meat on the inside.
Yeah, I don't really ever.
Oh my god.
I wish you wouldn't say Switch meat. So anyway, the one complaint that I come back to, and I'll mention it here since everybody seems to want to just heap praises on Zelda over and over again. I don't like that the weapons. It isn't that the weapons break. I don't mind that, but they break so often, and
Right. Yeah.
and so I gave the example right before we started, while we were getting ready. I came up on 3 moblins and 2 bogoblins, so 5 enemies, and I went through two weapons broke, and I was on my 3rd weapon to take down the 5 of them. And it's just you should not have to go through 3 weapons in one battle. So it's fine. It's a little complaint in an overwhelmingly amazing game, but just like, come on, man, just at least let me get through, like, I don't know, 10 bad guys before my weapon breaks, not half of one.
Sure.
Anyway. That being said, I still absolutely love it. It's great. I played as much as I can. I'm playing at work. I take it, and I've turned my hour lunch into a 30-minute lunch so that I can play an extra 30 minutes at work, which is cool. Master Blaster came out today, so that game is fantastic. Josh already kind of mentioned it, but yeah, it's just Master Blaster. You have your side-scrolling levels with the with the tank, and you have your kind of your isometric view. It's kind of 3D esque isometric, and then you go into the actual like a top down. It's just Master Blaster. It's really fun. It looks great. The Switch screen just looks fantastic, and had a lot of fun with that. And then I'm reviewing Shovel Knight.
Yes.
For Life of Gaming, which that should be up on Monday. I'm putting that together now, trying to get through Spectre of Torment, which is the new expansion, and so playing through that. And that Shovel Knight is fantastic. Spoilers, it's going to be a very high score. Shovel Knight is a great game.
So good.
And the Spectre of Torment, the Spectre of Torment's new kind of move is you can teleport almost is kind of what he does. He kind of like he has like a Spectre, really so he has like this Nightcrawler-esque move where you have to do it in a certain direction. Like you can't just kind of go anywhere, but you do have like this kind of quick teleport power that he has, which is a lot of fun. So anyway, just kind of polishing that off to get that written and get that done. But that's about it.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, the way they incorporate it is actually in the platforming. So you like go from bad guy to bad guy.
Yeah, cool.
Yep. It's really good. Yeah. So so again, going back, Treasure Trove comes with Shovel Knight. It comes with Plague Knight, who has already been out, and Spectre of Torment is actually first out on Switch.
Right.
So you can only play them right now. Play through.
Did they announce when it's coming to? Xbox,
I think they said April. I think they said sometime in April. So you're still waiting. Yeah. You're still waiting about 3 or 4 weeks. I'm sure.
Right. Because I've already got it on Wii U and Xbox One. And I'm like, I probably shouldn't buy it again on Switch. I mean, I probably will down the road, but for now,
it's probably worth it.
But
it's really good.
But as for myself, actually talking about reviews, Chris, good thing you brought that up. Fast RMX, almost called F-Zero. Almost called F-Zero. Fast RMX, loving that game. I put my review up. Check out on our YouTube page. I have our video review up. You can also check out the written review, which goes into a little more detail. On lifegamingpodcast.wordpress.com. Go make sure and check that out. It's a fantastic game. It's really, really good. The other thing I've been playing, like you guys, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm much farther
yeah, you
than
are.
you guys.
A little bit, yeah.
I finished all 4 temples. And I'm closing in on the end of the game. But for myself, I played it way differently than you guys. I just kind of made a beeline for the story and just went and just started going from point to point and just playing through the story, really enjoying it. But like Chris, I also have some complaints. Like I'm loving it. It is a fantastic game. But actually, real quick, going back before I talk about my complaints, what I really need to do is explore more because I really need to raise my heart level and my stamina meter.
How many hearts do you have now?
8.
Okay.
But that's because every time you beat a temple, you get a heart.
Good.
So I've unlocked, 1 heart and 1 stamina, and I'm almost to another heart again because I'm kind of going back and forth between what I upgrade. So I really need to go, especially before I get to the end. But when you're cooking food and it's got how many hearts you get with it, and it adds plus 20 hearts, I don't really think I need really need the extra hearts right now. But I'm really enjoying it. But I agree, the weapons do break really, really easy, especially on boss fights. You do get the option. This isn't really spoiler territory, but you do get an option to upgrade your weapons. You can increase the durability on them.
Okay.
And if you use all those amiibo behind me, I'm scanning like every day. Not all of them, but like all my Zelda ones. Because when you scan your amiibo, if you get a weapon, like 95% of the time, it's a high durability weapon, so it lasts much longer, which is really, really nice. But my main complaint with the game, I'm like I said, I'm probably 75% of the way through, maybe a little bit more.
The story.
Of the story, right, of the story, not finding everything, but of the story.
So, how many shrines have you done?
9
Probably
or
not
10,
that many.
probably 10.
Yeah,
I
I've done
think
more
I
shrines
think.
than you.
But before you jump in, Alana Pierce, she tweeted out. It may have been either today or yesterday, but she tweeted out that she finished the story at a little over 50 hours.
Yeah.
And she was at 10% complete with the game.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean the game is massive, but the one
Witcher
thing,
3
the one
almost.
complaint I have, and I know it's just the way this game is modeled. Every Zelda game kind of has a different model and all that. But if you remember when Skyward Sword came out, one of the biggest complaints of Skyward Sword is when you get to the areas to search around, it's not that big. And the same is kind of said about the temples in this game. Once you get there, they're all very, like, the shrines are really small, right? So it's not as small as the shrines, but all the temples are really, really small. They're all like puzzle based, like majority of the shrines. And there's just not much to them. So, I mean, once you get to the temples, it's like boom, boom, boom. You're just knocking them out. And one thing I always love about Zelda is exploring through the temple, fighting the enemies, finding the keys. And, like, I love that. I mean, it made the temples feel like a huge experience. And I feel like it's kind of missing that in this game. Once you get in there and start beating the temples, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. I don't want to get into spoilers. I do feel like I went through the temples in the wrong order. Because, like, the first temple I did was pretty difficult, and the last temple I did was so easy. I was like, oh my gosh, like it was way too easy.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's a really, really good game. I'm still loving it. I don't know if it's my favorite Zelda of all time. But I'm still
that's a
liking it
conversation.
Yes, that's a conversation
we
for
need to
another
have.
day. Yeah.
After we all beat it, we need to have that conversation. What is the best Zelda game ever made? Let me ask you this. This, James, just because I kind of went media blackout on this game a long time ago, and so I haven't really been following. I don't like to look at wikis or anything. But after the 4 beasts, which are the 4 dungeons, is that it? Like, are there? Because Zelda has a way where they're like, oh, yeah, you have to get these 4 pieces. And now that you have those 4 pieces, you have to get these 6 pieces of pieces.
Right.
I mean, so are the 4 it? Do we know?
I'm not sure. Because I haven't done the wiki either. I've just been playing through.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure. But they're doing that thing where it feels like it's wrapping up. But of course, Zelda does all the time. It feels like it's wrapping up and then it expands again. So I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm really, really enjoying it. I've talked to friends that have beat it already, and they have told me I'm close.
Okay.
So to my understanding, I think there might only
Just
be
the
the 4
4.
temples in the game,
Okay.
and that might be it. So I'm not really sure. I haven't finished it yet. Now, I guess it really depends on what you play Zelda for. Are you playing it for the story? Are you playing it for the dungeon? Are you playing it for the exploration? I mean, I think that's really going to form your overall opinion of where this fits in your, favorite Zelda games. I mean, this game is definitely up there. It is 100% top 3, no question. But is it my favorite? I don't know. And
Just save it. Let's have that conversation.
Yeah,
but
okay.
hey, can we at least agree on one thing though?
And Jesse can come
Legend
on.
of Zelda is basically Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, right? I mean, there's 6 colorful heroes. 4 of them drive giant machines. I mean, this is pretty much Power Rangers.
Yeah, and you and Jesse were sharing your Power Ranger love before the show.
Yep. I'm all about it.
But okay, guys, real quick, let's hop into our news section in what we call Captain's Log. No more dilly-dallying. We're going to get right into it. And we're going to kick things off with our Xbox news, and there isn't any.
Right, quick.
I know.
There is.
Like I said, we're just
There
going
is.
to roll. We're just going to roll.
There is Xbox news.
And what is that?
Mass Effect.
Oh well, I'm saying that for a third-party news section. That's not
well,
Microsoft
yeah, but
specific.
EA Access is only on Microsoft platform.
That's a really good point. So I guess we can start off with our Mass Effect news. Mass Effect Andromeda on March 16th is going to become available on EA Access. And what they're going to allow you to do, you can play the first 10 hours before the game releases, and they're going to allow you to explore the first planet in single player. So it's not the whole game. I know with EA Access, a lot of times they say play early, and you can actually play the whole game. With this, play early, you can't play the whole game. You get to play up to 10 hours on the first planet. So now I'm super hyped for Mass Effect. I'm going to play it. Now, Chris, I know your Mass Effect hype once the Switch came out, just kind of dropped off like a rock.
That's correct.
Are you still interested in? Because you're the one that brought this news to my attention.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I will probably I am an EA Access member, so I will probably jump in. This is Thursday, by the way. The 16th is this coming Thursday. So if you're listening to this, when we post it, it'll be in a couple of days. So I'll probably jump in. I mean, you literally get to play 10 hours for free. It's a glorified demo, and so I probably will jump in and play it because I do absolutely love Mass Effect. Mm-hmm. The problem that I have is that I'm a busy guy. I basically work 2 jobs. I have 4 kids, so
that's not enough, man.
Yeah, that's not enough. Plus I do this.
Another on the way.
Plus I do this just for fun. So when it comes to game time, I have to think about what I'm putting time into. So Mass Effect is going to easily be a 40 or 50 hour game. That going on their track record, you can expect at least probably 30 hours at the very least. And to invest that much time right now, I love Zelda and I love the Switch. And if I'm going to sit down and play, 3-4 hours at night before I go to bed, that's where I want to put my time. Will I play Mass Effect at some point? Probably. Mm-hmm. But, and I probably will load it up and play it on Thursday just to see, kind of what it's like and be able to have some sort of talking points whenever we speak about it.
Sure.
But to be honest with you, man, I mean, I have to focus my attention on kind of one thing at a time, and Mass Effect is just not on that list right now.
Sure.
So I will try it, but it's definitely not going to be a buy for me right
Sure,
now.
and it's definitely a massive endeavor. Like it's going to be a huge game. But Jesse, are you, because I know you talked about you had a PS4, PS3, PS2. Are you a Mass Effect guy? Do you play Mass Effect at all?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I in general, I'm not a fan of open world games, mainly because I get so bogged down with the quests, and especially if they keep a quest log.
Right.
So, and like, here's everything you can do. I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I did try Mass Effect 1. Like, I bought it on PC on a Steam sale for $5 or something, and I think I put 10, 12 hours into it. Pretty much got to the point where it says, okay, where do you want to go? You're commanding this ship. Hell if I know. That's when I shut it off.
Sure.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do next.
Sure.
It lost me.
Go to note where no man has gone before.
Yeah.
Oh,
to be fair, like I did not like Mass Effect 1. I ended up going back and playing it just because I fell in love with Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. I love Mass Effect 2, and so yeah. I mean, and of course, so then I went back and played 1. I played 2 again right before 3 came out, and I played and I beat 3. 2 is still, to me, the pinnacle of that series. I am interested to see where Andromeda goes, and you're right, man. I mean, I said this in the chat. It was kind of hilarious that 6 months ago from right now, there probably isn't a game that I was more excited for. It was probably a toss-up between Mass Effect Andromeda and Red Dead 2. Mm-hmm. And then Switch reveal hit in October, and it was everything that I ever wanted, as far as being handheld, and I'm just a handheld gamer. And when I saw that I could do console quality on the go, I'm like, this is where I am. And yeah, I mean, it completely dropped off. So I do think this is great though. So we'll end the news just by saying, look, if you're on Xbox, like this is great. I mean, you're gonna get to play this game for absolutely for free if you don't, and it costs I think it's $4.99 a month, or you can buy an annual subscription for I think it's 30. I think it's $29.99.
Yeah, something like that.
for an annual subscription. And so I mean, it's a great deal, and it's cool for Xbox fans to have kind of that little incentive to be able to do that.
Cool. Well, actually, we talked about PlayStation 4 just a little bit ago, but Brant, let's hop into your system of choice. Well, at least it used to be. With the Switch, I'm assuming it's your system of choice.
Systems.
But PlayStation 4, well, first of all, congratulations to PlayStation 4 because it is, once again, the best-selling console for the month of February, so it's selling great again. Now, the PlayStation 4 4.5 update is finally live. This is the one everybody's been waiting for.
Oh, they can finally change their names?
No.
Oh, wow.
But no, it adds external hard drive support. So now if you want to play your games with external hard drive, Xbox has been able to do it forever. Wii U has been able to do it forever.
Okay, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Hang on. People who listen to the show know that I care nothing about PlayStation, and I don't own them.
Love PlayStation.
This has not been a thing?
No, it is not an external hard drive.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's been one of the big problems.
I did not.
But-
I didn't realize. I don't feel so bad about Switch now. I mean,
Now, but with PlayStation 4, you can actually open it and change the hard drive out yourself, which you couldn't do on Xbox. So you had
Up
to
to
have
2
external
terabytes.
hard drive. And same thing with the Wii U. I mean, you couldn't really change the innards, so you had to have external hard drive. Where with the PS4, you just change the whole hard drive itself. So I mean, it's kind of an issue, but not as big a deal.
Yeah.
But
early on when I bought my PS4, I did swap it out for a 2 terabyte hard drive.
Smart man, there you go.
I put in a 1 terabyte hard drive in the PS3, which is the most it can support. It doesn't support 2 terabytes.
Right.
yeah, I mean, sure, yeah. At least there was an option there, but still, that just kind of that literally. You if you guys are watching the video, that literally blew my mind. Like physically, I was completely shocked that just happened.
But that's not the only thing it adds. It's also adding what they're calling boost mode. They said this aims to improve the quality and performance of games that have not been patched for PlayStation 4 Pro. This is going to provide noticeable frame rate boost to games with variable frame rate. And they said depending on the game, the increased CPU speed can also result in shorter load times. So even if it's not PS4 Pro, patch specific or whatever, they're still going to give some kind of boost to games now, which is great. Faster load times, better frame rates. Wow. They did come out and say, though, this is not guaranteed for all titles. That's kind of their little disclaimer.
Right.
So if it doesn't work, we're sorry.
They're stepping into that PC realm there with being able to twerk games to what you want.
they're twerking their game. PlayStation loves a twerk.
Psychotic twerk. I don't even know how twerk goes.
I really wish you were watching the video version right now. It also, Brant, for your good old PlayStation VR, it twerked the PlayStation VR that will make 2D images better on the virtual reality headset. The example of this, they said, if you're playing a game in PSVR and you return to the PS4 home screen, they said you would notice the resolution is lower on your headset than on the actual screen. But following this update, it said the resolution of those screens are going to be significantly better on VR. So it's helping all 2D images.
The update did download something for the PSVR, so I didn't notice anything, but I'll see if I notice that now because
that's the main thing. And then the final thing, it adds voice chat for remote play. So if you're playing on Windows, PC, Mac, or Xperia devices, which I don't know who would do that, but if you did, voice chat is now available for remote play.
Cool.
Which Xbox has had for a very long time.
Yeah.
But, so if you're a PlayStation 4 person, that's actually very, very awesome. It's something that's needed for a long time, and PlayStation is the top-selling system by a long shot, and it's great. It's slowly getting this stuff worked in.
Yeah, well, like I said, 2 terabyte, you can't really complain about being able to put a 2 TB hard drive into your PS4. I actually have mine filled up, and I've had to delete some games, but still, that doesn't bother me. It's nice that we have that option, though, because I know a few people really affected their love for the system.
Sure. And with my Xbox One, I mean, I had the 500 gig at launch. Then I upgraded to the S, which is a 1 terabyte, but then I've got 2 terabyte external hooked up. So I've got 3 terabytes on my one, and it's almost full. But that's because you get so many free games every month, and I download them and just keep them on there. It just fills up super fast. And I'm assuming that's the same problem with PlayStation. With PlayStation, you get what, six games a month? Like you get a lot.
Technically, it's different.
It's at least 2 games per system,
Right.
PS4, PS3 Vita, but with cross-buy going on, you can end. I think this month there was like 4 or 5 games for PS4.
Wow. That's really
exactly.
good. Xbox, we hopefully get for it.
When you go through the checkout, it tells you what the full price of those games are, and then says discount, blot, total price 0. This month was like $170 worth of games.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
they don't have to do it either. That's why I don't get why
Exactly.
people complain. About it.
People just complain
complain
because
about
they love to
anything.
complain.
They're idiots.
But,
We do need to have the conversation very soon, though, about is Microsoft or the Xbox really in trouble? Because
Sure. We'll get there. We'll get
things,
there.
Well,
are
they're
not,
in
things,
trouble,
are, things are
but-
not looking good.
Sure. But
Not
okay,
in
let's
trouble.
talk about happy things. Something that will make Jesse very excited.
Uh-oh.
Nintendo Switch is the fastest selling Nintendo console in America, Europe, and Australia. And the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the best selling standalone launch title for a Nintendo platform ever.
See, Nintendo, this is what happens when you produce units. They will sell.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, at
No
least
doubt.
it's not the NES Classic again, right?
Right. It was like, we sold 150,000 units. Well, that's because you only made 150,000 units.
Yeah, that's no doubt. Now, I read a report. The analysts, several analysts are reporting that they believe the Switch will sell by the end of Q1 2018, which basically is a year. So within the first year, they'll sell 8 million
Wow.
Switch, which I actually think
Pretty
if they
impressive.
can. I actually think if they can make more, I think they will sell more
Sure.
than that. But that's a great
So
number.
what you're saying is it could pass the Wii U in 1 year. that would be amazing.
It's a possibility. That'd be amazing.
It depends on how strong the holiday season is. It's very possible.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, it's such a strong year. And actually, speaking of strong years for the Switch, Mario Kart 8 comes out in April. Is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and then Super Smash Brothers was coming out, but it was
Right.
just
They've hinted at it. They've hinted at it. So we don't. It's not officially on the way, but E3 is probably going to pop out and be like, it'll be called Super Smash Brothers for Wii U for Switch.
And we're still waiting for some of those amiibo to come out.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Yeah, we still need Bayonetta and what was the other one?
I feel like they'll launch those with the Switch port, and
The Fire Emblem
and
character?
Yeah.
what I think they will do is I think they will, I don't know what they'll call it, maybe Super Smash Brothers Complete, something like that. But I think that they will incorporate the 3DS content, so the 3DS levels and the 3DS gameplay mode, because technically, again, this is a portable and a home hybrid. So I think that they marry both of the games. They put everything, just one drop,
them all there.
everything there, and they, just like with Zelda, they released the final amiibo, and maybe they throw in like 2 or 3 brand new characters with amiibos on launch day. I mean, it's going to be huge whenever it happens.
It is.
for
It's
sure.
going to be fantastic. Actually, you mentioned all that DLC for Smash Brothers. Well, hopefully they do what they're going to do with Mario Kart 8, because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like I said, comes out in April. They had a nice little announcement trailer today. In the game, this is going to have 48 tracks and over 40 racers. The new drivers include King Boo, Dry Bones, Bowser Jr., and then the Inkling Boy and Inkling Girl. They said it will also include Gold Mario, but he is only unlocked if you beat every track at 200cc.
That's crazy.
So you've got to
Wow.
be really, really good at Mario Kart. They said it's kind of like it's a point of pride where if you can take that Gold Mario and like go online, be like, look what I did,
Now,
look how awesome I am.
Does it have to be the mirror tracks or just the
It didn't say all
Standard
Nintendo said was
cups.
200cc.
Oh man, that's gonna be hard. But
I
will.
can't even play 150s. I've never been able to.
But I want it so bad. I want it so bad.
Now,
Oh, man.
I know the
So
only
luck-based
complaint
anyway.
people had about Mario Kart 8 was
Battle
mode. That's the
mode.
only thing people that
Yes.
complain about that I know of.
They
But
fixed it.
now they are enhancing and fixing battle mode with all
So
new
great.
tracks.
And when
they're-
you say fixing it, you mean adding a real one.
Yes.
I mean, Mario Kart 8
Yes.
technically had battle mode, but it was just racing around the track in whatever direction you wanted,
so
and the wrong
Not
way
battle
sign
mode.
wouldn't
Why'd
appear.
they do
So,
that?
No, battle mode.
but the modes they're going to have in battle mode, they're going to have Renegade Roundup,
Sounds great. I love it.
Bob on Blast, Shine Thief, and Coin Runner. Now, Chris, you are super excited about Renegade Roundup. So let our
Yeah.
listeners know, man, what is Renegade Roundup? 'Cause
I mean,
that's the new mode getting
like,
added.
I like Shine Thief too. So Shine Thief, real quick, is kind of like capture the flag. You get the shine and you race as long as you can hold on to the shine until somebody else comes and takes the shine.
Shine.
I love
Shine.
it. Shine, make you wonder what you got.
my God.
Oh man!
Oh, wow.
News
Wow.
stories.
Old school, man.
That
Old
is
school
old.
Newsboys. Come on. What is it? Renegade Roundup, right?
Yes.
Is that what it's called? Renegade Roundup. Yeah. So basically, you're split up into teams, and it's basically cops and robbers, man. And when you get caught, you get thrown in jail. And but your teammates can come and bust you out of jail. So like I mean they didn't really share any screens or anything of it, but I can only imagine just like picking up shells and like racing over to the jail and just trying to break the gates down so you guys can escape. It just sounds like a lot of fun. It's just like kind of like cops and robbers with Mario Karts. I love it.
It's going to be great. Now,
That's cool.
online mode before, it only had races, right? Could you play battle mode online? I can't remember.
No, I think you could.
Okay. It's just no one did.
Yeah, because
So-
there wasn't a battle mode.
right. Okay.
There was a semi racing with balloon mode that no one wanted to play.
Right. Now, Brant, I remember your kids loved Mario Kart on 3DS and DS, but they've
Yeah.
never played Mario Kart 8.
Oh, that's right. Oh, he doesn't have a Wii U.
Right.
Oh, Mario Kart 8 is
we
so
had
good.
Mario Kart 7 or Mario Kart Wii, I think. it
Yeah,
was.
7 was on the DS, is that correct?
3DS.
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 Okay.
Yeah, that's the 3DS.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we have Mario Kart Wii, which they like too, but I didn't really like that game.
Hey, look, go. Hey, Josh, why don't you do this real quick? Go to livegamingpodcast.wordpress.com and read the list of the top 10 Wii U games released, and you will see that number
Yeah.
1 is Mario Kart 8 because
I
that
saw
game
that.
is
It is incredible. Now, that is Chris's
Yeah.
list. I would have put it number 1. I would put it in top 3, though. I mean, that game is, it's
Uh-oh.
What would have you put? What would you have put at number 1?
oh, man, you put me on the spot, man. I can't.
Super Mario
That's a good question.
3D World?
Jesse, what about you? Favorite, best Wii U game? Not favorite, best Wii U game.
I'm actually trying to find the top 10 list we created for the Wii U.
Oh, cool.
Oh, you guys made a list? Oh, cool. All right, well, I'll give you a second. So,
Now, because when I think of my favorite Wii U games, the ones that always come to mind are Bayonetta 2, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and, man, I don't know, like Wonderful 101's really great, Pikmin 3's really great.
No, not Xenoblade.
Well, Xenoblade
Well,
Chronicles X was there, but that's not
Yeah,
my top
that's
10.
that doesn't.
but you know what? Those first 3 games that have in common that you mentioned though, they're not Mario Kart.
They are not Mario
You know
Kart.
what I mean? So they're wrong.
Super Mario Maker. That could be.
That
I
one,
think it was number 3.
I
Yeah.
never really got into, like, I never bought it. I borrowed it from Bremy, who's been on the show multiple times, but I never bought it. I don't know, like, I'm terrible at creating things.
Yeah,
And
that
there
checks
wasn't
out.
I mean, in the way that it was just playing other people's levels. So if the levels weren't very good, it was like it all depended on how well the levels were made, if you're gonna have fun or not. And I don't know.
I think Mario Maker survives on who you get to play it with, because we had an absolute blast with Mario. But what we did for a while with Mario Maker was the kids, they were basically like, it was basically Stump Dad, and so they would try to create levels that they would then just like try to challenge me. You can't, see if Dad can beat it. and then Dad would beat it, and they would get mad. They're like, oh, they would go back and they would make another one, and it was super fun to play.
Do you have to be able to beat the levels yourself to publish
Well,
it?
you
do. Yeah.
You do in order to share it, but like if you're on the same console, you don't technically have to.
Okay.
But we made that rule. I made them have to beat it and upload it before I would play it, so that it was
Fair
it was
enough.
fair. But it was a lot of fun. So I bought it on the 3DS, and what I ended up finding is that it just wasn't nowhere near as fun because I had nobody to play with. And so I think that's a game that really kind of depends on who you're playing with.
Sure. Now, Brant, I'm kind of curious.
Wait, I think that's on his list.
Oh, yep. What do you got, Jesse?
All right, so I forgot we didn't do a full top 10 Wii U games, but what we did do is we went into the system settings where the game would tell us how long we played each game,
Oh, gotcha.
Sure.
and built our own top 10 lists of individually of what we played the most.
Yeah. Well, hey,
And-
side note, that's my favorite feature of the Switch too, is being able to go in and see how long I've played. Oh, wait a second, it's not there. All right,
It
go
will
ahead.
be. It actually will be.
It will
It
be.
just shows up there after a week you've had a game.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's still like not. That's fine. Go ahead.
Right. So like my personal top 5 was Hyrule Warriors, Pikmin 3, Wind Waker HD, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE, and Mario Maker.
Oh, cool.
Oh wow.
Cool.
With
There's
the top two.
No Mario Kart in there. That's crazy.
I'm not a Mario Kart player.
Oh,
fair enough.
My Mario Kart 8 was 15th at under 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
I spent
Wow.
so much time. Actually, I totally forgot about Hyrule Warriors. Hyrule Warriors is fantastic.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I wanted that. I was intrigued by that one.
Oh,
I
yeah,
never
yeah.
actually finished it. I want to go back and finish it, but I got near the end game. That was 71
Hope that comes
hours.
for the Switch.
Problem is I'd have to start over.
Yeah,
And I put 71 hours into it.
that's a
Hey,
lot of time.
don't worry. If your Switch dies, you'll lose it anyways. You can just buy another one and start over. Fine.
Ow.
Yeah, because we
Let's not
talked about
talk about
last
that.
week, Chris, when he's done when the battery dies, he's dropped in the trash can.
I just
He's like,
throw it
nope,
in the
I'll just
trash.
buy a new one.
Start again.
Okay, guys. Okay,
Which is
let's
everywhere.
wrap up our news section, and we're gonna hop into our topic of the week. And for that, I say, hit it, Brant.
I see you live in joy. I see us living. Oh, it's real, it's free, it's fun. So take us to our Switch, son. I wanted to stay with the Newsboys thing.
I liked it. I liked it.
Oh my gosh.
Cool news. Yeah. Come on. We need whenever you post this, James. You
Maybe
need
I
to
should
tag,
just do
you need to
old
tag
90s
Newsboys in it.
Christian rock groups.
Yeah. So if you successfully tag the Newsboys, they're watching right now. Hi, Newsboys. We love you. We would love you to record an opening theme for our song.
There you
Reach
go.
out, let us
Michael
know.
Tate, come on.
That's what you get, man. All three of us were in like praise bands and worship bands all through like high school and college, and it's just
Some of us still are. Okay.
that right,
Thank you.
exactly right.
Oh,
Oh man, so funny. Okay, well, our topic of the week this week, with the release of the Nintendo Switch, with it coming out, a lot of people are very, very happy with the consoles. We all love it. We all think it's great. But there have been some issues for some people, especially with the left Joy-Con not syncing properly. Some people, they would turn it on, the screen would go all crazy. Now, for myself, the only real issue I've had is every once in a while, my Switch won't recognize the dock. I have to lift it up and put it back in the dock again, and then it
wow.
works. It's really bizarre.
That's different.
Because as you guys know, I leave mine in the dock. And so I just leave the dock turned on. Most of the time it shoots my TV. But every once in a while, it doesn't recognize it. I got to pick it up, put it back in. So
I've seen my son have to do that a few times.
it's kind of weird, but I mean, hopefully it's just something they can fix. Oh, one of the really annoying thing that my Switch does, because you can put your Switch in standby mode, or you can put your Switch in like totally turn it off. I always have to go in and totally shut it down, because if I put it in standby mode, I don't know why it does this. My TV has that thing where, and I don't know how to turn it off, where when you turn on a new HDMI, whatever it is, my Xbox or whatever, it automatically changes to that channel. And if I leave my Switch in standby mode, it'll just go to HDMI 3 where my Switch is. Even though there's nothing there, it'll just switch the channel. Like we'll be in the middle of watching something and it just switches it.
It'll switch.
That's right.
it works even.
But
when you
other
don't
than
like
that, I mean, I don't have too many issues. But Nintendo's come out, and this is what they had to say about their issues. They said, at Nintendo, we take great pride in creating quality products, and we want our consumers to have a positive experience. It is common with any new, innovative consumer technology for consumers to have questions, and Nintendo Switch is no exception. Can't talk today. There are no widespread technical problems in all issues. There are no widespread technical problems, and all issues are being handled promptly, including the reports regarding the left Joy-Con Bluetooth connections. So pretty much Nintendo's just denying everything, saying there's no issues. We don't see any issues. But earlier...
Is that an app on your phone?
I took that snap sound out of one of their videos and trimmed it down to just that sound effect and turned it into a ringtone.
That is awesome.
That is awesome. But Nintendo's pretty much saying, there's no issues. But like Chris, you and Brant, I shared a link in our group chat, I forget, earlier this week, where it's like 15 minutes of just people having problems with Switches, with it not turning on, or it totally freezing and crashing, or super loud fans. There's like all these problems. Now, of course, on the internet, it's amplified. But with all this happening, it reminded me of all the fun things that happen at the launch of a system. And we are all early adopters. I mean, for most things, we try to get our consoles at launch. But with that, there's a lot of pros and cons to that. I mean, but I just want to kick things off and, actually, Jess, to kind of get your opinion on your Switch. Are you having any issues with your Switch? Are you having a good launch? I mean, how's it going for you?
I haven't noticed any problems of major significance. I might have had the dock problem once or twice, but that seemed kind of minor compared to everything else I've seen. I don't play with the Joy-Cons separately very often. I normally will, I'll put them in the grip, or I'll use the Pro controller, so I don't really have the desync issue.
Cool.
Yeah. And so far it's been pretty smooth.
Now, one thing I forgot to ask that we have a little thing going on in the show. When you play, are you playing it mostly docked, or are you playing in handheld mode? Most of the time I think I'm playing it off TV. Okay.
Like, I'll prop it up on my desk here or on the table and play it that way. Just so, because I can play a game while my son's doing other stuff. He's a big Call of Duty person, so he plays all that and does streaming, and he's with clans, and so that way we can both play games separately. But if I wanted to, I can still dock it, play it on the big TV, then record and stream at the same time, which I usually do.
So you're actually saying that you play probably tabletop mode is what you prefer, rather than just holding it. You like to prop it up and play.
Yeah, I haven't played it actually holding it yet. I've always done tabletop mode.
Wow, cool.
Which I kind of figured I would, because looking back at the last generation, other than Tokyo Mirage Sessions and Mario Maker, I surprisingly played very little Wii U. I've done most of my gaming on the 3DS. So
that's where I am. Yeah.
So I expected that I'd be playing the Switch mobilely versus on TV. And so when all these rumors started coming down, I'm like, that is like my golden system. This is what I want all of these to be true. Yeah. And most of them were.
Yeah, 100%. I absolutely love it. So just real quick, because I don't think we talked about it a lot on the show last week. So I actually have had the Joy-Con issue several times, but I think it has a lot to do with my setup. And so this is one of the things that you have to take everything you hear with a grain of salt. And this is the problem with the internet, is you just hear buzzwords and then they just kind of run with them. So the way that my living room is set up is I have my flat screen hung up on the wall above the fireplace. It's mounted, and then I have a hole drill behind it, which goes to like a closet area on the other side of the wall, where I have all of my equipment, so my Apple TV and my Xbox One, and now one of the Switch docks. And I think the expectation, even for me, was I have no problem sitting on the couch with a pretty good distance away from the TV with my Xbox One controller and playing completely flawless. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I can control the Apple TV, no problem whatsoever. So I assumed it would be the same way with these controllers. I think what we're hearing is that the Joy-Cons are not very strong in connecting to the system, and I think that. So what I mean by that is the short distance that my other controllers work just fine at. I'm having trouble with the Joy-Con. So I have had the Joy-Con desync both in the grip and in my hand. Standing about 4 feet away from my TV, standing in the middle of my living room with the Switch on the other side of the wall. And I've had it happen with I bought a gray launch system, and it happened with the gray Joy-Cons. And then this week on Monday, I got wow, thank you. I felt like maybe I should like really get into this story. It's really get good. Thank you. So this week I got so my order got delayed. I pre-ordered a set of blue Joy-Cons. It got delayed, so I didn't get it in the mail until like Tuesday. But I got the Joy-Cons in the mail, so I thought, okay, maybe it was just the launch Joy-Cons. Let's try. Exact same issue. So it's not. I don't think it's even a Joy-Con issue. I think it's a setup issue. Both of the Joy-Cons in the grip, out of the grip, in the middle of my living room, the way that my setup is, every single time they've had a problem. Now, I then would come to where I'm sitting right now, which is where I play, where I have a TV, which I'm looking at right now, right in front of me, and I have my second Switch dock that goes directly to this TV. And
you have two? I guess you would have two Switch docks. I'm like, why do you have two Switch docks? You've got three Switches. I totally forgot.
Yeah. So sitting right here, 2 feet away from, or not even 2 feet, 1 foot away from the dock, I have not had one single problem with the Joy-Cons because we're right here. So I think the issue is not the Joy-Con I don't think it's a syncing issue. I think it's a setup issue. I don't think that they were made. I think they were made to sit it in tabletop mode and play it that way. I think if you want to play console style game where you set it in a dock and you sit across the room, you need to invest in a Pro Controller. I've tried the exact same setup on my family TV with the Pro Controller and have had absolutely no problem. The Pro Controller is flawless. So I just think the Joy-Cons were built to work very close proximity to the Switch. And if you're going outside of that 5 to 6 foot radius, you're going to have problems.
Sure.
Yeah, I saw a video of someone who disassembled it and tried to figure out why it's having an issue, and it sounds like there's a problem with how they wired the antenna for the Bluetooth. So it's a flaw in the antenna construction, so which limits its range severely. Okay. Very similar to the iPhone 4 problems, where if you held it wrong, it stopped working.
Right.
So the fix is don't hold it that way.
So just don't even use your hands. Just set them down. Now, do you guys think that they will, take claim to this problem? Do you think they're going to start sending out free Joy-Cons or?
Nope.
Okay.
No. And I don't think that they should. I think that this is what did Apple do? This is a great analogy. What did Apple do? Apple said if you go to this website, we will send you for free a bumper that goes around your phone that will allow you not to touch the antenna. It's a little plastic ring that costs them like probably 10 cents to manufacture, and they mailed it to you. But you had to go through all of this rigmarole to even get it. Maybe Nintendo comes up with like, oh, here's a specific grip that you can put on your Joy-Con. Another condom that you can put on your Joy-Con, like they did with the Wii remote, so that you're not touching it or whatever. Maybe they come up with something like that, but this is not going to be a recall. This is not I don't think this is a problem. I think that this is an issue with understanding the limitations of a system, right? I think what they need to do is come out and they should take ownership and say, look, we built this with a specific style in mind. You need to play within 6 to 8 feet of your console, and if you go beyond that, you're going to have problems. That should have been set out from the beginning, but maybe they didn't troubleshoot it that closely before they released. But now it's there. They just need to explain it to people, and they just need to understand how you're gonna have to play. Buy a Pro Controller. That's the answer.
Sure.
Now, if you want to argue should a Pro Controller been in the box, we can have that conversation.
That's for another day.
It totally should have. But
sure. Now, Brant, have you had any? I know you've just mainly been playing by yourself in handheld mode, right? I mean, have you had any issues, anything weird pop up on your Switch at all since you got it?
I had a long gaming session on the TV last night, which was pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll probably be more 50-50 going forward because
How far away are
it's
you
a
from your?
beautiful game.
Because you only have Joy-Cons, right, Josh?
Yes, I have. I
How
have
far
two
away?
sets of Joy-Cons, and I always play in the grip, like Jesse said, or that. Well, all I have are Joy-Cons.
So how
I'm
far
not-
away?
I'm-
How far away from you do you sit from the TV?
Let's see, probably 6 feet, maybe.
Okay, yeah, and there's nothing in between you and the console, right?
No, it's just all
Yeah.
right there. Yeah. So I
I-
haven't had any issues.
Right. Yeah.
When I put it into the dock, I'm like handling this like a baby, just slowly down,
Sure.
straight.
Like
I'm looking
putting
like
a baby
straight
into
down,
the bathwater.
making sure nothing. I'm going bare skin. I'm not going to
Oh
get
my
a screen
gosh.
protector for it.
Yeah.
Brant always goes bare.
When I play docked, I'm usually sitting in this chair over. You can't see it on my camera. It's off camera.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's about maybe 15 feet away
15 feet away from the TV.
from 15 feet away from where the dock is,
Okay.
which is further away than the TV. It's kind of TV,
Okay.
docks over here, chairs over here.
Oh.
Is there anything in between you and those 15 feet?
No, it's open space.
Okay, and do you play with Joy-Cons or Pro?
I use both. You
Okay.
know, when Joy-Cons, it's always been in the grip.
Okay.
I haven't played any game with the Joy-Con separately yet.
Okay.
And then my son will play from his chair on his computer desk, which is the same computer desk I stream from, which is probably adding another 2 or 3 feet. And he really hasn't had any problems.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
he's done more on TV play than I have.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and for myself, I mean, I'm kind of the same way where I'm probably, Brant, you've been in my house multiple times, what, 6 to 8 feet maybe from my TV to my couch.
It's about the same.
And with that, the other night, just for the heck of it, I played with the grip for Zelda for a couple, few hours, over it was. I've never had a single disconnection issue. And, because, I figured I'd give the grip a second try just in case some games aren't going to get Pro Control support like Master Blaster. Which it's getting it, but just not launch. So, I mean, and I enjoy the grip. It's fine. But I haven't had any disconnection issues. But as you guys know, it's not strange for console to have problems at launch. This always happens. And one of the things that came to my mind, first thing I thought, early console adoption, remember all the problems the Xbox 360 had when it launched? I mean, it was an absolute disaster. It was a
PR
mess.
3 red lights,
The
man.
red ring of death for myself. It red ringed on me over the lifespan I had it 3 different times. Then after I got it back that time,
So
Brant
you
bought it from me. It red ringed on you what, twice? I
Yeah,
think?
then it totally
And it-
died.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And
and
it,
I've never gone back to Xbox.
it was a mess. Now, Chris, did you ever have problems? Because I know you were a big Xbox guy before the Switch.
Yeah, so I so I bought 2 of the original Xbox Ones, not at the same time. So the very first one, so true story, the very first one that I bought still to this day works.
Oh wow!
And then I bought a second one, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months after that. And that one I got 3 red lights on, the red ring of death, and sent it in. Now I will say this for Microsoft. So if you
They
had
did
this
take care
experience,
of it.
they were fantastic. They would mail you a box. Like, you didn't pay a dime. They would mail you a box. You would box it, send it to, and it was pretty quick. I mean, it was maybe less than 2 weeks. I had my I had a system
Still.
back.
It takes your time.
Yeah.
No, I agree, but I mean, for an issue that big like that, they handled it pretty well. So my second console did have a red ring. I got it switched over, and then it lasted until the Xbox. Was it called the S?
Xbox One S.
Xbox Slim.
I think it was Xbox 360 Slim.
Oh.
I think.
Xbox 360 Slim, yeah,
Something like
I
that.
don't remember what they called it, but yeah. So whenever that redesign came out, I traded that second one in, to get that, which I actually still have. It's right here. That black slim console, and then I ended up selling my launch day console that I pre-ordered and got on launch day that did not red ring to my mother-in-law, who still has it and still works. She bought it, mostly for like Netflix and stuff like that when I was upgrading to Xbox One. So
Cool. Now, Jesse, did you ever have an Xbox 360?
No, I've never owned any Xbox consoles.
Oh wow.
oh man,
So,
Good man.
Now,
so, so the other systems that has had problems. The Wii had launch versions of the Wii couldn't read dual layer discs.
really, I don't remember that.
So
remember
of
that
course
either.
the first game that was dual layered was Smash. So
oh wow,
Of course it was. Of course it was.
so that was like what 2 years after launch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was the first time they actually had exercised this. So Nintendo said they would send it in, they'll replace it for free, even if it's out of warranty, because those were the systems that needed it.
Yeah, for sure. Did you have one of those?
I did.
Oh man.
wow.
I
Oh,
bought
that's a
mine
bummer.
in. So they launched in November 06. I think I bought mine in February 07. And so it was basically the launch model, and so I had to send it in for repair. Some of Wii U's had problems. Some of the HDMI ports just flat didn't work.
Oh wow.
I was actually
I
on a
don't know that
road.
either.
I was on a road trip on Wii U launch, so I didn't have mine until like Tuesday of the following week. But listening to
Wow.
Twitter feeds and listening to podcasts that week, a number of people had HDMI issues.
Wow.
That's so funny because I remember my Wii U. The only thing that made my Wii U launch terrible was the day one update. It was like 2 hours or like it took forever for that day one update.
Was there ever any console that I can't remember what it was, but it was like a big deal where you had to they had to ship in something. It was larger than what we've already talked about. I just can't think of it.
We had to like ship
Maybe
the
it's,
console back.
No,
Is that
they
what you're
had to send like a part to you or something. Maybe it was a handheld. I can't have to look it up.
Yeah,
don't
I'm trying
remember.
to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I remember with I believe it was with the Wii, one of the Metroid games had like a game
Oh,
like
it was Other M.
yeah, it would
It was
like
other-
lock your console.
you
You had
had
to
to-
send
yep.
it in.
You had to put your
Yeah,
save
that
file on
was-
SD card and send it in. They'd send it back and
Yeah.
with fixing it because the Wii just didn't have the online infrastructure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I kind of miss the days, and now this where before the original Xbox, you didn't have to worry about online console updates because now we're in a world where like before that the console had to be right. Because there were no patches, there were no updates to games or things like that. The game was just what it was. Because now, if something comes out and doesn't work properly, they update the UI. They update the firmware on the on the games or whatever, and it fixes the problem. They couldn't do that before. So
Yeah, but I mean, I would argue with like Xbox One, they launched with a different vision under a different team. Don Matrick was still
right,
there. It was
sure.
all Connect based. So if we didn't have that infrastructure, we would still be, navigating the Xbox One with that crappy, first dashboard that was
And
that was.
NSA box,
What'd you say?
the NSA, box.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Where you like yell to your wife, "Hey, do we have any Doritos?" And then your game is interrupted by a Doritos commercial. Did you say Doritos? Go to Amazon right now and you can buy Doritos. Yeah, that would not have been great. So, yeah. So I mean, but I agree with the idea though, James, of it being done. I just think that console cycles are so long now that without having that capability, I think that you kind of maybe lose some of the features that you eventually could get.
Sure.
But day one patches definitely ticked me off.
Sure. Now, I guess we've been talking about a lot of the negative of early adoption, but there are some positives too. The first thing that comes to my mind was PlayStation 3. When it launched, it had backwards compatibility. And they took that out of the system with future iterations of the console because the one I bought didn't have that included. And the ones that have the PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility, they sell for a lot of money more versus the regular PS3 because people like having that backwards compatibility. But in order to save cost, Sony cut it out of future consoles.
And
So,
then the problem with those PS3 Fats is they're liable to the yellowing of death, the yellow light of death.
Right.
And I had a launch model PS3 and loved the backwards compatibility. I actually used it and then had my PS2 in storage. And guess what? My PS2 is out of storage because I don't have that unit in anymore.
Yeah, now, once you lost that unit, did they just have to send you a new PS3 without backwards compatibility, or were you able to get that one back?
Well, I actually never sent that one into Sony. What I did,
okay.
I found a guy locally who would fix it. I think he charged $30 or $40. So he opened it up, cleaned it up, added new the compound you put it on a processor and heat sink. Thermal goo. That's
Yeah.
and then just to get it working again. And he said 90-day warranty. So okay, fine. So but she pretty much broke every 30 days after that. So maybe it was 60-day warranty. So it broke in 30 days. He fixed it again for me for free. It broke then at like 65-day mark.
Oh man!
So
of course
I paid it. I paid another $30 or $40 to get that fixed. And at that point, I said, okay, this is just band-aiding. This isn't going to actually solve the problem. Yeah. So I bought then the PS3 Slim, the Super Slim at the time, and did a system transfer. So I was able to move all my games and contents. So I still have that unit. I just can't play it, otherwise it'll break in a month.
Oh man! Well,
or is paperweight.
One other pro for early adopters that I'm thinking of, 3DS. Remember the ambassador program?
Yeah,
that's right. Because we got how many? It was 10 Game Boy Advance games and 10 NES games.
Yeah,
right?
it's 20 games. Yeah,
so good. And
of course, you had to pay for them by buying the system at $80 worth more than what they lowered the price to.
Well, not necessarily, because when I bought my 3DS, I remember they announced the early adopter program and when it got cut off.
Oh yeah.
And my Walmart dropped the price on the 3DSs to the new price like a week before the ambassador program was going to end. So
nice.
I paid the normal the new price and still got in the ambassador program.
Yeah.
See, I bought 2 launch models, on day one, one for me, one for my wife. So
yeah.
I'm not sure where you ended up, but both of those have the ambassador games on it.
Yeah, I mean, I did too, and I think they gave you a free game too. I think you got to pick from 4 3DS games, and then you got the 10 SNES and the 10 NES. So I bought a launch, and I paid full price where I bought it on launch day, a 3DS, because I am a handheld guy. I will buy any handheld that Nintendo makes at day one, and I was fine with that. I was fine paying the price that they charged. I didn't feel too slighted when they lowered the price. This is one of the things about being an early adopter. You have to understand that. You guys have to understand that whenever this rolls out in November with the Switch, you're probably going to get a 1-2 Switch bundle. And it's gonna come with the console and 1-2 Switch, and they're gonna really push for the holidays. And you're gonna be like, oh man, why did I not just wait? Well, you got to play the console, 6-7 months before everybody else. That's what you bought. You bought time. And
Zelda skin 3DSs, Zelda skin Wii U's.
Exactly. I mean, it's all gonna be so it's really just the question of what you want. I want to play the Switch. On day one. That's why I bought that. Yes, you're eventually going to have, Mario themed Joy-Cons and Animal Crossing skinned, Switch. And those are all going to be there. And there'll probably be a time where I'm going to buy, another set of Joy-Cons or whatever, just because that's how I am. Sure. But I'm always ready to jump in day one. So I didn't feel too slighted about the 3DS. I did feel slighted when they announced the drop, because they did not announce the ambassador program when they announced the price drop. It was the price drop, and then everybody flipped the crap out.
Yeah. People got a little angry.
Yeah, that they had bought it, and it wasn't. Do you have the time frame on it? It wasn't, but a couple of months.
Yeah,
right?
it was less than 6 months, right?
It launched in March, and the deadline was August.
Yeah. So less than 6 months. So yeah, everybody flipped out and they're like, oh, by the way, we're gonna throw you a bone. But man, we got Minish Cap and those GBA games. Some of those are still not available on the system today unless you're an ambassador. So you had Metroid Fusion and you had Minish Cap
and Mario Kart.
And Mario Kart, and I'm okay with that. Like I thought it was great. I thought them kind of rewarding their loyal fans with games that loyal fans would want, Switch. You know. And so when they lower the price for Switch, you hope they're not lowering the price for Switch, but
no.
you better
give the ambassadors some love, though.
Oh my goodness. Well, guys, actually, Chris, you said a very interesting thing. With one of the pros for adopting early is that you are buying time. And I mean, that's actually the best way to put it, because you're getting the games early. I mean, you're paying premium price for it, but you're getting them at an early time. Sure. But, speaking of time, we got to wrap up this topic of the week. But, I mean, is there any last little tidbit you guys want to throw out there before I put a cap on it?
If you remember, 3DS did not come with eShop. That came like 3 months later.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good fact.
I am kind of curious to see how the Switch eShop is going to change, because it is very, very bare bones. Because all they're doing right now is one page with a super long list. But what are they going to do when they start adding more titles? Because they'll
have different sections, and once the virtual console comes along, that'll be infused somehow.
I think all that's going to happen. I want to see it happen in April because Mario Kart's coming, but unfortunately, I think that it will probably launch with Splatoon, and I think that's when we get like the full like system, like whatever that's going to be. I think that will be our first full system update, which is going to give us an actual eShop where you can you search different games and do genres and all the stuff that they do on 3DS. I do think we joked around earlier about the activity log. I do think that's coming. We had this conversation a couple weeks ago. I think we were talking about just some of the things like Miiverse and stuff that are going away. Like Nintendo hasn't changed who they are, so I still think that there are going to be some little surprises that are going to come. I love the activity log on 3DS. I don't know if you guys mess around with it, but it ranks your games like there's 3 categories: time played, how much you played, and then like how many times you started the game. They had a couple little categories, and they would give you like gold, silver, and bronze. But then you can view every single game, your play time with all those games. And as long as your 3DS doesn't fry and you lose all of your data from 4 years of time, it's great.
You sound like you're talking from experience there.
Yeah.
I've never lost any of my data. I've gone through 4 system transfers. So I still have my I have a new 3DS XL with the Ambassador games on it, and like most of my top played games are like all Picross games.
Yeah,
Zelda Picross, Pokemon Picross, Picross 1 through 7, the E 1 through 7. I've 100%ed all of them.
Oh, nice. So good. So
good. So anyway, so I unfortunately I think that's going to come with Switch, but I do think we'll get stuff like activity log, and we'll get some additional features to the actual system. Yeah,
trophies.
I'm thinking that update will be like just before E3 or just announced at E3.
Which hopefully
it'll go live tomorrow.
Right, they'll do
I hope. Yeah. I do. Like, I mean, there's a possibility it could launch with Mario Kart. I mean, they're putting a lot of, especially after today's drop with all the marketing they're pushing behind Mario Kart and really pushing the multiplayer. Like, it could drop because Mario Kart's April 28th, right?
Yep.
So that's the very end of April, and that's that's roughly about a month. Maybe 6 weeks from E3. So there is the possibility that they could launch it with Mario Kart, but it's coming.
Sure. And one thing, whether you're an early adopter or you wait, consoles are always evolving now. It's just the world we live in. I mean, who knows? We may get some kind of Switch hardware, for the, kind of like the Slims, things like that, or like the 3DS to the new 3DS. Who knows? We might get that in the future. But, we'll see. But that will wrap up this week's topic of the week and this week's episode.
Yay.
Jesse, thank you for joining us, man. I hope you had a wonderful time tonight.
It was swell.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
Well, before we head out, let our listeners know, where they can find Nintendo Dads and everything going on with that.
Okay, we do our primary show hosting at vgtribune.com, and we post every episode. We actually live stream the video while we're recording to YouTube. So I think youtube.com/c/Nintendo Dads, or search for Nintendo Dads to find us. And we also dabble around with Twitch a little bit, but YouTube is where we primarily go to. And then we're normal iTunes and Android Google Play subscriptions to get the audio versions.
Awesome. Cool. Well, guys, check out their show. It is absolutely awesome. As for Life of Gaming, the audio version you can find every week, every Sunday on iTunes, the Google Play Store, and SoundCloud. And I just found out today, because my Xbox downloaded the new podcast beta app.
Yes.
I was just kind of messed around with it and decided to type in Life of Gaming in the search. We pop up.
Bam.
So you can find us on the Xbox store as well. So if you want to find us, let's do us on the Xbox, which is awesome.
Do you have to do anything to set that up, or
we used to be on the Microsoft Play Store because I had a Windows phone back in the past, so I made sure we were on there. So it probably transferred over that way.
Okay.
So it's still there, which is awesome.
Somehow I have a feeling that Nintendo Dads on the Xbox store won't go well.
You never know. I mean, I'm not sure what database it pulls from, but it's on there. But
Sony, give us a podcast.
But you can also find the video version every week on our YouTube page. Make sure to check out our YouTube page. We have a lot more content going up. We're going to have some coming up. We have some very special shows going up on there. Hopefully you check those out. And, if you like them, subscribe. That would be absolutely awesome. You can also find our video reviews. We have Switch reviews going up. Like I said, I've got Fast RMX on there. Chris has Shovel Knight going up. Brant, eventually, once he finishes it, is going to have Legend of Zelda for us. My brother-in-law, Matt, who you used to be on the show, we mentioned on the recently, who I went and got a Switch with. He is going to be reviewing 1-2 Switch for us. And then Bremy, who's also been on the show, he is doing Bomberman. So we're going to have a whole mess of reviews out there for you guys. Make sure to check those out on our YouTube page. You can also find the written reviews on our website, lifegamingpodcast.wordpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, so like us on there, on Twitter, @LifeOfGamingPod, also on Twitch there if you want to check out our live streams. As for myself, you can find me everywhere on, Xbox and Twitter and Twitch and all those places. Jamester0722. And Josh, where can people find you, sir?
Okay, you can find me on Twitter @minusthebrant, MINUSTHEBRANT, and that is my PSN ID and also Switch name, but you'd have to enter my friend code, which I'm not going to put on here right now.
It's too long.
And just message me, and yep.
Cool. And Chris, what about yourself, man?
Sure, you can follow me on Twitter @NeoLego, and anything else that I do, you can find there. I am actually going to be making a guest appearance on Nintendo Dads this week, so check out their show. But I mean, if nothing else, come and support the Life of Gaming crew as we go out and cross mingle a little bit with the community. That'll be going up this week, so be looking for that.
Awesome. Well, we hope you enjoyed another wonderful episode of the show. But until next time, we are out.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this content from the Life of Gaming. If you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe down below. You can also catch our weekly podcast every Sunday on iTunes, SoundCloud, and the Google Play Store. You can find us on Twitter @LifeOfGamingPod and on Facebook. Until next time, we are out.